Welcome to Real Estate with Real Faces, where homes meet hometown heroes. We're your trio behind the transaction. I'm Claire Springer, a realtor.
I'm Ashley Four, a lender.
And I'm Lindsay Michael, a title rep, bringing you real conversations with real people in our community.
From local business owners to everyday neighbors, we're spotlighting the faces behind the places and the stories behind the sold signs.
So grab your coffee, pull up a chair, and let's talk life, business, and all things real estate with a personal twist. Welcome back to Real Estate with Real Faces. Today we have a special guest. This is Ryan. He's going to be talking to us about the different types of personalities, because we all know that we are all very different. If you've watched any of our episodes or have listened to any of our episodes, you're going to learn that we are all very different, right? Even just the three of us. So he's going to talk about the different personalities that people have, a different type of assessment that you can find what your personality is, and then also how to communicate with someone that may be on a different spectrum as you. I know me personally, I had some struggles communicating with other people, and it helped me to learn how I could communicate with said personalities. So, yeah.
Cool.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
for
Thanks for
joining
having
us.
me, guys.
Seriously, thanks for coming.
Long-time listener, first-time sitter.
Yeah.
I think, what number are we on now?
Ooh, I don't even know. That's
This-
8?
Ooh.
No, this will be
6.
All right.
Okay, yeah,
all right.
so, yeah.
Heading for double digits. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I love that you said long-time listener. I'm not gonna lie. It's cool. It's cool to like hear people that actually have. I'm like, hey, I listened to your stuff, or you'll get the random messages after we drop.
Yeah.
They're like, we listened and it was so cool.
Absolutely. You know,
So
it's
thanks for that.
It's important to get the message out there and talk about the things we love to do and why we love to do it. And
Absolutely.
you know, people like to work with people they like. And honestly, the best thing to figure that out is why they do it.
Yeah.
And you guys talk about that. Why you like to do it, why you love those things. And,
Yeah.
and it's very professionally attractive. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
Love that.
We love that. Yeah. So tell us, let's start with what is a disc assessment and how did you get into it?
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, once upon a time, so I'll tell you what, and I'll try not to bore you during this. So a DISC assessment is a personality assessment. There are many, many out there. They're called lots of things. Myers-Briggs is really popular. There's the Colby Index. I was on an assessment called the Predictive Index for about 12 years when I worked in banking. And Predictive Index measures 4 drives: dominance, influence, patience, and formality. The reason I got into DISC is that was a little complicated. It was really great. Some of these assessments are really great for companies and leaders because it tells them kind of how their employees work and maybe what some of the motivations are. But it's really designed for leaders. You kind of need like a cartographer to like map it out for you and show.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about the DISC assessment is you can show anybody. And
So
you know,
nice.
my career, I've been privileged to be in leadership roles for 3 decades. I started in junior high, and the DISC assessment is great because it's just literally a big circle, and anybody can kind of point to where they're at. And so all these assessments measure the same 4 things, and this goes we hit the way back button all the way back to like 2,000 plus years ago. The Greek philosopher Hippocrates, not hypocrite.
Yeah.
Hippocrates came up with what was called the 4 humors. Anybody's ever heard about the 4 humors? If you took Psych 101 in any college course, and philosophy, the 4 humors. It actually started with physiological stuff, you know, all that. Doesn't matter. But what he basically came out to is he was like, people have certain things that either motivate them or scare them. And that's measured in terms of dominance, influence, steadiness, stability, and conscientiousness. D-I-S-C. DISC. Super simple.
Yeah.
So we're all somewhere on this big circle, and we're all in different places. And some of us are more dominant than others. Some of us care about influence more than others. Some of us care about stability, safety more than others, and some of us care about control, details, right, wrong. We all have those things. And when Mom said you can do anything you want, she was right. You really can. You can do anything you put your mind to, but you might not like it.
Yeah.
And so what I do, and I'm a leadership and communication coach, and what I do is I try to help people understand where they're at on there, what types of things do they look forward to, what types of things do they not look forward to. Things you look forward to give you energy, things you don't look forward to take your energy. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the foundation. There's a lot of stuff you do with that, but that's the foundation.
Yeah. So then, knowing us, what do you think?
You know mine.
Yes.
I was
But
saying,
I'm saying, like, I'm sure
You've
you
taken
might.
it, right?
Yes, I've
Okay,
taken it.
I've taken it as well,
She's
so
taken it. So
I
we've
know.
all taken it. What do you
Okay.
think we are?
So
We're putting you to the
What
test.
if we talk about everything and then he analyzes us throughout and then gives us our grades at the end?
Okay.
here, I'll guess, and then I'll tell you if I change.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. I like
perfect.
that. I like that.
Claire, I would like to think that you're probably a DI, maybe a DC. I'm not quite sure. I know there's some D in there, and I can tell that because I've seen you be able to have difficult conversations. You've been able to handle conflict. That tells me that some of that's in there. So the D drive, their primary motivator is results, and you just do what you got to do to get the result. Ashley is a cheat code because I've worked with Ashley for this year will be, I think, 17 years in some
Yeah.
capacity. Ashley is an IS. So an I, their primary drive is influence, and S, their primary drive is stability. Ashley values collaboration and meaningful relationships and support. So sometimes people don't have their own huge ambitious goals. I want to take over the world. Not everybody wants to do that.
Right.
Some people have a servant's heart, and they derive their value just from being really supportive to others. Lindsay?
Why was there such a big breath?
Well, we've collaborated and we've worked on things.
We've had. I was thinking about this. We've had like working stuff. We've had personal stuff.
Yeah.
We've had sports stuff.
Yeah.
We've had all the things.
And I've seen you in these different environments. I feel like there's I in there. I feel like meaningful relationships, meeting people. I think that's in there, but I don't know yet whether you lean more towards the dominant side or towards the like steadiness and support side. But I do feel there's I in there. Am I right?
I'm gonna wait till the end of time.
Oh, this is even more fun. Okay, all right.
I love that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
what I tell people about DISC, here's what I tell people about DISC. It'll get you 75% of the way there 100% of the time.
Yeah.
It'll get you 100% of the way there 25% of the time. Yeah. None of them are ever perfect because we all have other adaptive things. We've had things that happen in our
I
lives.
was just going to say, it can change. I mean, at a moment's notice. I
Yeah.
mean, you could have something happen in your life that tomorrow you're going to answer that question
Yeah.
differently.
Differently. Yeah.
And
Because
you
now
are
you see things differently.
you are capable of doing anything.
Right.
But some things are harder than others. And so when it comes to job satisfaction and picking careers, and this is one of the things I do with career coaching, like if you're picking a career, you want to lean into the things that you really look forward to doing. You're capable. I'm very capable of analyzing data, aggregating data in a spreadsheet. I'm very capable.
You don't like it.
But it takes energy from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not something I look forward to. So what do? I procrastinate it.
Yeah.
Things you look forward to, you don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
Things you don't look forward to, you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. What did
Okay.
you want us to do next?
Don't look at me.
No, you said you wanted him to guess
talk
and
about
then what?
stuff.
Oh yeah, I was just like talk about it and then see
No.
if he's switched up at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about like
Yeah,
our
just based
personality,
off of how
or
we're-
like how
Yeah.
I had taken the
Yeah.
test.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can start. Do you want me to tell you what I was, or you want to see if you'll switch?
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me what you tell me, and then I'll see if I switch.
Okay. So don't tell you.
Don't tell me. Don't
Don't tell me the results.
Don't
Okay,
tell me.
don't tell you the
I'll,
result.
I'll tell you if I
Right,
change
right.
my mind through the
Okay,
process.
so I am very much a person that I want to make everybody happy. I want to be like, I have hardcore FOMO if I'm
Okay.
not invited to an event, or if I am invited to said event and I cannot make it. I'm very much a person that I will talk to a wall. Because I will find somebody to talk to. I'm also that person that I'm annoying, and I will probably make a new friend in the grocery store, or at
Okay.
least talk to somebody
Okay.
in said grocery store.
Okay.
I'm also that person, though, that I am very scheduled.
Okay.
I'm very planned. Obviously,
We saw your planner.
Yeah, we're
planner
aware.
came out. My branding photos has my planner in it. Like, and
Yeah,
it's
that was so
it's-
fitting.
I am such a huge planner. I know what I'm going to do. I know where I'm going to go. I'm a list maker as well.
Okay.
I'm big on, if I'm going to the grocery store, it may be only 3 items, but it will be on a piece of paper with that list, and I will have a pen so I can mark it off.
Okay.
I didn't do a vision board this year. I did a vision bingo board.
Yes.
So I can cross things off. I have
Okay.
that satisfaction
So
of
satisfying.
crossing
Yeah.
something off and making it, getting it accomplished.
Okay.
It gives you more of a goal that way
Yeah.
than just a vision board.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I do like to have control.
You don't say. Weird.
I do like to be in control of situations, but then there are times that there are days that I would rather somebody else take control.
Okay.
Delegate it. And,
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
But I also am
That's
very
still a
much
form
like,
of control
I
because you're
know,
delegating.
because I'm also very much a person that like I will listen to your idea and be like, oh,
Not for me. Move
yeah,
on.
no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right. So if I had to guess again,
Okay.
I would probably say I maybe towards the D, about halfway down.
yeah. So I'm ID.
Okay.
My
right.
I was off of the I chart.
Okay.
Like very but yes, very close to
Okay.
D.
Yeah. So the reason you said a couple of things through that process. One of the things you talked about. So I, hands down,
Yeah.
you led with that. So that's going to be most of it.
Yeah.
Meet people, make new friends, all that. But then you said a couple other things. You like the structure, the consistency, and you also kind of liked a little bit of that control.
Yeah.
And so that tells me that there's some of those other things. And if you imagine a big circle, imagine the big disc circle,
Yeah.
and you're on it somewhere. Well, the reality is, based on where your dot is, there's kind of another circle. So sometimes you will touch a little bit of each of the things, but you still lean
There's
towards anything.
one of them, I forget which one it was, but I wasn't in it at all. I was not
Really?
in one of the areas. I think it, this one.
Us?
The C?
DI
Oh,
The C's on the bottom left.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that one.
okay.
Is that, what color was that?
It's yellow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, one at the bottom, I
I
was
could see that.
I
So
was not it.
one of the things, another reason I love the disc is because, again, it's a big circle. And so if you're at what happens is it's fears and motivations, right? And so if you're like way high in one section, there's an opposite.
Yeah.
So if you're way high on the S, C is the opposite.
Yeah.
My wife's a great example of that. She's all C. Like there's a big circle and she's on the C, but I always joke she's like way over here, like off the chart. And I have some clients who are like D dominance, but
Yeah.
I'm like, here's the circle, but they're way over there.
Yeah.
Make kind of those jokes. So it's usually some opposites. Like, so what that would say is, maybe you don't need all five. I don't like to use hyperbole. So maybe you don't need all 5 details, but you need to get a good amount and you're ready to start moving. I'll get the other one along the way.
Yep.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
So for you as an example, and we'll talk about each of you, but you for an example is like if I would want to make sure that like if we're trying to collaborate on something, that I recognize you're not going to think exactly like me. So in this case, Claire, I would say like I'm a DI, but mine's like stupid. I'm like at the top of it because action is my primary motivator. I always want to do something. Do.
Yeah.
That's why I have energy at almost 50 years old. Like I want to do something. Talk to me at 6 o'clock tonight. I'll be a pumpkin.
Except for Fridays.
And Fridays, yeah.
Fridays.
So, like you and I would be like, okay, this is something we have in common. So, if we're collaborating on something,
Yeah.
the center for us would be how are people involved? How is this relationship impacted? How are people
Right.
involved?
Yeah.
Let's keep that as our foundation, and then let's talk about the other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I was working with Ashley, who I know Ashley is this kind of IS, collaboration's her primary motivator. When I'm trying to have a conversation, I'd be like, all right, like our center thing here, like I know you value doing things as a team, so like let's talk through this together. What can we do together? Somebody who's like my wife, for example, and she's going to watch this. Hi, Leslie. She's all C. Like her thing is accuracy, right, wrong. Like
Yeah.
what's the proven
Yep, that's
method?
the one that I don't
Yeah.
think I was on it.
I'm
Oh,
not,
like
I
I
don't think I'm not even
Yeah.
near that.
Yeah, so those
I was
people, they
missing that.
value accuracy. I use a lot of words. I talk a lot. Like if we're trying to collaborate on something, I need to make a point and stop talking. Give her a chance to digest it. She'll tell me if it's the right time for her to talk about it. And then once we agree, then we move to the next thing.
Yeah.
So it's more structured. We use this in sales. We use this in leadership. We use
Yeah.
this in relationships.
Yeah.
We're all humans. We all have psychology behind
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours.
Well, okay, so my
So like describe you
In a nutshell.
I
in a sentence.
have had issues identifying who I am my whole life. So that was one of the reasons why when I had an employer in the dental field who I got a position as a clinic coordinator and my job was to go around the country, learn new techniques, bring it back to Warsaw, implement it on a team who then implements it on patients while managing all of that, right? We would see like 120 patients a day. That was my job. I loved it. However, I always felt like I was really good at almost, not really good, but like 90%. I could probably just pick stuff up as I go. So once I had an employer who was like, you have a lot of talents, I don't know how to coach you. Gallup, are you familiar with that? So that is one of the initial tests that I took. And that gives you like 5 or 6 personality traits. And we had them up on chalkboards in our break room. So and it had the characteristics and who out of the employees had those characteristics.
I love that.
It was amazing because then if I had an issue with Bree, a girl I worked with, right? I could go to
Bree.
She's amazing. But like I could go in there and I'd be like, okay, she's super emotional. She cares about people. This is her. Okay, I should approach her this way. And that,
Absolutely.
I loved that because it was like a
Absolutely.
cheat sheet for me and my own, not knowing who I am. So how the heck am I supposed to approach someone else, you know? Once I took that, it gave me all those personalities, and that was great. I just transferred over to real estate, and again, the company that I used, or that I worked for, had me take a DISC assessment. And I am IDSC, but it was the graph. It was not the circle.
Okay.
And when I tell you that they were all boom, 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 boom,
I see
like
that.
it's almost...
Yeah, I can see that.
And it gave me so much personal validation.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like I was fake in some way or another. Because it's like but it's like there's no way that I can be able to have a conversation and actually understand this and then be put in a different position and be able to... It was like a chameleon almost. Like I was okay
Exactly.
anywhere I was.
Yep.
And then I took this assessment and I was like, oh,
Yeah, so
that's just me. Okay, cool.
yeah, so that I was going to use the word chameleon.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, that's a pretty rare assessment where I have one other client that's in there, and it's kind of like, how's she going to respond in this situation? Well, it depends. They're really adaptable. They can adapt to any situation. So when you use the word cheat codes, the way I look at it is like using an assessment, and it doesn't really. I love DISC. I'm going to talk about DISC. DISC is really approachable. I think it's the easiest to learn, easiest to read. There are many, many out there. I mean, sometimes you can just figure out what Disney princess you are, and that will tell you. I don't know if you guys have taken those. I mean, what Marvel superhero, not Disney princess. That's what I meant to say. I've never taken the Disney princess one bell. But what happens is it helps you understand yourself, and you said it perfectly. You said it gave me validation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, this is who I am. So what I say with this is it's important to understand where we're at. Because then we know, again, what gives us energy takes energy. What are our motivations? What are our fears? Fears really matter, guys.
Yeah.
Fears matter so much. But then when you learn somebody else's, I call it speaking their language.
Yeah.
You're not, so some of the like imposter syndrome or am I being fake or whatever, sometimes when we're adapting to somebody else, you're like, well, that's not me. That's okay.
Right.
That's not your point. You want to speak their language. And just like I talked about, if I was collaborating if I know where you guys are at and I'm collaborating or we're talking about something or we're on a project together, doing some cool community thing or whatever, like I know who I am because I'm on there. I know what I like to do. I know what I don't. I know what my gaps are. I know what my strengths are. So meeting other people, I want to speak your language.
Right.
Like I want to build a relationship with you. I want to be functional. So I want to make sure I know what your motivations or fears are.
Right.
To be honest with you, if you have a fear of mastering details, then let's not lean into that. I might talk about it, but like, okay, we need somebody else to get the details for us. How about you and I do this?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's speaking that language.
I think it's hard for people sometimes with me, though, because like you said, you don't know how we're going to react because I don't know how I'm going to react until I hear everything and was there subcontext? What was the atmosphere like? What's the past like history with these people? So I care about all the details, but at the same time, I can understand how it's hard for people to come to me. My own daughter
and
says
I'm the
that.
opposite. I'm over here like I just want everybody to like me. I just want to do.
Give no craps about that.
Oh, see, and I
honestly.
do because I just want everybody to be happy.
I used to.
I just want everyone to like me. I don't want anybody to have a bad time.
I'm like,
And
the more I try,
listen, we'll figure it out. It's okay. We'll figure it out along the way.
no,
okay?
the more I tried to like what I was saying, the validation part of it is before I took that, I was always trying to stick myself into like
A mold.
Yeah, because this is normal for this is normal for this, and then like I said, I took that and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's okay.
I'm actually like
I'm just me.
Yeah, I will say like when I was younger, I was very much same as me. Like I was still loud. I was still like, I am here. I mean, my 16th birthday party, I invited everybody in my grade, and we had a dance. We rented out a hall and we had a DJ and but
thing.
everybody was coming, and I'm gonna make a grand entrance. Y'all gonna be in that room, and then like that's just
Yeah, you had a sweet 16.
But I'm now at the point that like I'm okay with being who I am. I'm okay with being loud. I know that about me, and I can see when people start getting turned off on it, and it makes me sad. But I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. So let me give you guys a tool. Let me just time up for a second. Let me give you a tip just based on what we've talked about so far, just in this. So I talked about we understand ourselves. Mm-hmm. We know why we do the things we do. That's important, right? And we own it. We get some validation from it. Yeah. And we want to speak somebody else's language. Correct. I genuinely care about this. So in a case where somebody's like a really high I, here's what'll happen. The instinct. There's instinct, and then there's like logic and reason. So let me add some logic and reason. So the instinct is, if it seems like it's not going my way, I'm just going to try harder. I will just be more energetic. I will use more words. I will restate it a different way. Yep. I am trying to...
I'll reach out to that person to make sure everything is still okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
So that's the inclination.
Were you all right today? Were you feeling okay?
Are you mad at me?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, that's the inclination. And in a lot of people, about half the people, that'll work.
Yeah.
And the other half, usually people that are lower on the disc, more on the introverted scale, the key for those people, if you find after one or two attempts, so your instinct is, this isn't quite going, I'm going to jazz it up, I'm going to say something a little different. You tried that. If it's still not going, then you want to press pause, because now what you want to do is stop and ask a couple questions.
Which is so hard.
It is, but so
hard.
you already tried it your way.
Yeah, because that's like your impulse response.
It is.
That's right. It's instinct.
Yeah.
It's instinct. Instinctually, I'm just going to keep trying.
Okay, that makes
no
sense.
matter what, I'm going to get through to them, whether they like it or not. On the
They
people,
will hear me.
the people on the top, that will work for.
Yeah.
The people on the bottom, it will not. So what happens is it drives them away. It could
Which is probably why I
alienate them.
have like none of them.
So those people, like for example, if I was trying to, I know where you guys are now. I know where you're at. Mm-hmm. Like if I was not quite sure where you were at, my instinct would be, I'm gonna try and generate a little more enthusiasm first on my own end. If that doesn't work, then I'm like, okay, I tried something else. I ratcheted up my way. That's not working. I'm gonna ask I'm just gonna pause for a sec. I'm gonna ask a couple of questions. Like, hey, I'm gonna make one point. And that gives me an opportunity to say, well, what do you think about that? Mm-hmm. It makes me stop talking.
Yeah.
So I'll make a point and then say, can you give me some feedback on that?
Yeah.
Because my instinct is, you're not excited about the thing I'm excited about. I'm just going to keep going.
Right.
Stop.
The more information I
Ask
give
questions.
you, the more excited you can be.
That's right. Because what I'm going to pick up for when
Yeah.
you start talking is whether you hate it, whether you like it, whether you
Right.
want more information, whether you need more time
And you'll
to
use those
digest.
social cues to pivot in your direction.
Speak your language.
Yeah, yep, 100%.
Remember that from
makes
today.
sense.
Speak their language.
So see, I like what you said about pausing and asking a question, because it not only forces them to answer and speak to you, but then you'll get more cues. But I was always told to mirror people. So like if they're talking about something, like we were talking about Legos earlier, and like you would say, oh yeah, like I just found this new Lego, blah blah blah, and I'd be like, oh, where, like what Lego did you find? So I'm just repeating what you said back to me, and then it opens up another lane of conversation, and I never have to say anything.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you? Like a lot? So I literally just did it to you right now.
There's also, and if you want to find out basically where somebody is, one of the teachings I do is, if you haven't taken a disc, just kind of how to read where people are.
Okay.
So if you're at
That'd
the
be
top of the
interesting.
disc, you're more extroverted. If you're at the bottom of the disc, you're more introverted. If you're on the left side of the disc, which is the D and the C, you're more skeptical. If you're on the right side of the disc, which is the I and the S, you're more open. So if we think about just in terms of introvert,
that
extrovert,
tracks.
skeptical, open. So
All of mine are in the middle.
well, I know. This is why you're hard to read. So in these cases, like when you're talking to somebody, and I do this in sales training, is how are they responding? So if you're fighting for words with them, if you're trying to talk, they're trying to talk, chances are they're at the top of the disc somewhere.
Okay.
Okay? If they're so now you need to hey, you're at the top of the disc somewhere. You're a D or an I.
Because like the dominance of the conversation.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, you're fighting for words.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
the eyes
okay,
will fight
okay.
for words.
See,
We're
but
fighting.
I listen, y'all.
So now I know. So now I know you're at the top. So are you Now, is your motivation the result or is your motivation influence? Okay, if I hear you not asking questions, you're just trying to drive your point. Maybe it's the result. So now I know you're a D. You talked a lot. You're fighting for words, and you're geared on a result. You're a D. You talked a lot. You're just trying to influence me, persuade me to your way. That's fine. Now maybe you're an I. So now what happens is we get to the bottom. These people are harder to read.
So hard.
Because now you're talking, and they're either doing this,
Stone face.
or they're going,
Yep.
okay. Okay. So that's the difference in skepticism and open and trusting. If you are stoic, like this, uncomfortable pause, you're taking what you're doing is you're skeptical. You're taking it in.
Yeah.
They're listening to you. They're trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong. They're trying to figure out, is this right for me? Do I agree with them? Do I not agree? They're processing, which is why they don't have the energy to bob and nod. If they're bobbing and nodding and they're quiet, they're probably an S. They're thinking, what's
As I'm quietly
safe
bobbing and
here?
nodding.
I know.
Like, hey, I care. I want to trust you, so I'm acknowledging you. I'm just not quite sure if it's safe here for me to speak up or me to give an opinion.
No, you're totally right, because I feel right now like my head's on an axis, and I'm like, yes, I agree with what you're saying,
I know,
but
I
I'm
do that all
totally
the time.
prepared to start going like this if I don't agree with what you're saying.
So that's
Okay.
it. I literally just described how to read somebody. And you use that in sales. You use that because it's
Yeah.
not about manipulating. It's not about.
No.
It's about speaking their language.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's
Absolutely.
a takeaway from
Yeah.
today.
Huge.
I want to speak somebody's language, so I'm watching how they respond.
Right.
I know my own instinct. Claire, for example, you and I would probably do something very similar in terms of if somebody's not gauging, I'm just going to keep talking. I'm going to try and say it a different
Right,
way.
right.
I'm going
Yes.
to try and say it with more enthusiasm.
Yes.
I'm
You're
gonna-
going to try and hook them no matter what.
Yeah.
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 Well, if it's not working after one attempt or one or two attempts, then I need to be like, okay,
Yeah.
Pivot.
time out. How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
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 Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I know. Now I learn more because what I'm doing isn't working. They're going to teach me what I need to learn.
Yeah.
You just have to be observant and receptive to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You
At
have to
the end
just
of
be a
the-
listener.
at the
Do you
end of
think
the
that
day.
sometimes that's the issue, though, is that it's not necessarily that there's so many eyes, is that it's so much like people aren't listening. They're just
think there's-
not
I don't
willing
think I don't
to.
think they pay attention to that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
just
I
don't.
think it's just that a lot of people are. You don't think of it as everyone has their own different type of personality, and we all speak and act differently.
Oh, see, I do though, and that's what I love about people.
Right, but I'm
Some
saying
people
like
do
I
not.
just don't
Yeah.
think there's people that do that. Like I'll be honest, when I came in, I was like, nah, they just not excited enough. Like they just not hyper enough. Like
In
me.
our
They need
defense,
to get
you
right,
walked in on the
okay?
tail end of a really sad conversation. Okay.
like you right,
Yeah.
you're just not. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah.
And then when I took this disc assessment, and then there were people that when they were all in different areas, and I was just like, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
why
It
she
does.
was sitting in
Yeah.
the back of the room and never would talk to me or
Yeah.
never would say
Yes.
anything.
And
Yeah.
it's almost
This
like
explains
relieving.
why my husband looks at me, and I'll be like, hello,
Yeah.
I've asked you 10 seconds ago a question. He goes, you have to give me at least 30. I need to think through this. And I'm like, what do you need to think
And
through?
I've
It's a
met your
yes or
husband.
no
Yeah.
question.
And I've met your husband,
Yeah.
so I know.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that happens a lot
Oh,
actually
we're
in
so
relationships.
opposite.
You
Oh,
are
your guys'
so
dynamic is
Yeah,
wild.
that happens a lot. Opposites attract. That happens.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the first things I'll say when I have a conference in June where it's disc, they want to talk about disc assessments. First thing I'll say when I get on stage is, I'm here today to help you stop expecting other people to think like you.
Yeah.
Frustration comes, communication. It makes sense to you. Why don't they get it?
Yeah.
Let me try and convince you.
Yeah.
The reality
It's
is
yeah.
they're thinking different fears, different motivations. You know, I'll say, who loves public speaking? I'll ask, I'll do a session. Who
mind
loves
it.
public
Yeah.
speaking? People are like, okay,
go.
but I'll tell you right now, you find somebody on the bottom of the disc and like, oh no, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I'm out, bro.
Absolutely
Like
not.
wait,
Yeah.
I'm not actually here.
Yes. Yeah.
You
That's
can't
my
see me.
husband.
My husband.
You can't see me.
Yeah.
I'm not here.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
They're
it's
like
all,
the one that starts
yeah,
at their seat.
how
Does
can
that
I
pick
be-
on
Or
me?
the one,
goes,
You.
Yep, the one that's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Where's my cloak, Frodo? I want to be invisible.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what's great about
Perfect.
these assessments. It's what's great about just learning about ourselves, and it applies to everything. It applies to relationships. It applies in the workplace. And the thing that I think is really really important to take away is like you can do anything, and you have probably had a career of doing anything. And what happens when people are in their 20s, they're trying to figure out what they're capable of, and they're just doing everything. What do I like? What do I not like? When you're in your 30s, you're trying to optimize that. You're like, I think I'm good at these things. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
What happens is people then get into their 40s, and they're like, well, I've been doing something for 2 decades. Do I actually hate this? And that's when people have midlife crises, blow their life up.
When I changed my
Change
career.
it. There you go. That's right. I forgot. You are firmly in your 40s now. I forgot about that.
I will be 41.
Well, we really do appreciate you coming on and
My
explaining
It was great.
all of the different types of personalities. And we hope that you've learned something. And maybe you can internalize that, look at where maybe you are. Maybe you can get in touch with Ryan and see where you are on the disc assessment.
we didn't
That
talk
was
about where people
that was
like
a
Oh.
question that I was going to ask. If they
Rhino
want-
Consultingandcoaching.com.
Perfect.
Or
And
Facebook, Instagram, my website. Yep.
Yeah.
Plenty of spots.
So many. So before we leave, we usually end with a confession.
Yeah.
Do you have a confession you would like to share?
On what?
And
it's
literally,
literally
we've talked
anything.
about crazy ex-boyfriends. We've talked about wild things
Work.
work things we should not have done. Like go to showings with scary men in woods with no one with us.
That's sketch. I'm pretty
Listen,
old. I've had a whole
I was
career
a
of stuff.
first-time realtor.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anything that won't get you in trouble with the law.
Oh, or not. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have a good one. I don't listen to my own advice as much as what I should. When I just told you guys that you should make 1 or 2 attempts and then
Yeah.
pause and then ask a question, I might sometimes not do that. It's the right thing to do, and you should do that. But I get going and I get excited, and I just want to keep trying to convince you of my point.
Right.
She knows this. Like, Ryan, would you shut up for a minute? Like, we've said it 17 times. It all sounds the same.
Yes, we know.
Actually, that's exactly what happens.
Yes.
That's her thing.
Ryan, we know. We know.
That's my
No.
confession.
Well, perfect. We love it.
We appreciate you. Seriously. We
Again,
hope-
yep. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Maybe
for
another
listening.
time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Talk about all kinds of things.
Yay. Thank
All right.
you.
Well, thank you again for viewing and watching us, listening to us, however you're streaming us. All right.
All right.
Bye. Awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.